Right now on Sports Extra, the Braves look to be turning things around until the Dodgers came to town this week, and the Falcons and Jeff Ulbrich were fined a combined $350,000 for a prank call this week. Plus, Dyson Daniels earned a very well-deserved league-wide honor.
We got to keep that going. It's a long season, but just winning the day matters. So if we keep stacking those, we're going to be in a good spot.
We got to take this on the chin, and we absolutely are doing that and taking full responsibility, and I'm hopeful we'll grow and be better because of it.
I always knew I had the capabilities of doing it. It was just about going out there, being confident in myself, and credit to my coaches, my teammates. They wanted me to go out there, be myself.
We got a lot of good stuff, plus an annual tradition makes its return. We're breaking down Atlanta United's media match. Get excited, everybody. I got the boys with me. Sports Extra starts right now. Yes, sir. Welcome on in, everybody. I'm Reggie Chatman. This is Sports Extra. Like it has been the story for the Braves all season long, this week has certainly been a roller coaster. So let's get right into it, and let me direct your attention to this. The Braves looked like the team we thought they were at the start of the week. Granted, it was against the Rockies, which we will talk about, but still looked good. But then the Dodgers came to town this weekend, and it was pretty similar to the first series when these two teams faced off. The Braves know they need to get on a roll.
It's baseball, right? You go through stretches where you don't play great, but having that happen at the beginning of the season, was kind of tough. So, we got our footing going, and we're looking to keep rolling.
All right, one of my favorite things about listening to Sports Talk Radio is deciding in my head which each personality looks like. For my 92.9 The Game fans, imagine no further. It's a Radio Plus Reggie takeovers. We got Joe Patrick and Caleb Johnson in the building. Guys, a crazy week, of course, always in the city of Atlanta. Of course, we're going to talk about the Braves first. Joe, it's been kind of up and down. They played pretty well earlier in this week. They had some moments where things have been good, and of course, the Dodgers series didn't go as well. What is your temperature check on where the Braves kind of are right now?
They're still making their way. Obviously, it would have been nice for them to kind of get back up to 500. They could have done that by the end of the month of April, which I think after the start that they had would have been kind of a great thing to say about your club, to say, hey, we got ourselves back to 500. Weren't able to do that and have since been kind of sliding since. But still, you're starting to see some kind of return to normalcy for this Braves lineup, starting to hit the ball a little bit better over the last couple of weeks, but still clearly not the team that I think a lot of Braves fans expected coming into the year, and not the team that we expect them to be when they get some key players back from injury.
Well, they had a left field signing that we're not talking about the guy that got suspended. Alex Verdugo has been the man in left field. Of course, Jarred Kelenic got moved back down. Caleb, it's obviously been a decision to try and figure out this left field. It feels like Verdugo's kind of the guy. Where do you kind of land on what they're doing right there at that position?
It's nice when you can essentially go get a guy off the scrap pile and throw him in there. But that's essentially what Alex Verdugo has been, as a man without an island, a man who didn't have a team coming into the spring. The Braves take a flyer on him, and he has clearly produced some of those things that my friends who are Yankees fans are like, why couldn't have that guy have shown up for this team? But it's been a bright spot in this Braves team that's had a lot of issues offensively, especially just consistency. You don't know what you're going to get night in and night out. Who's going to be that guy, and are you going to get enough to help propel you to a win?
Joe, does it make sense they actually sent Kelenic down then? Of course, you need to make space, but it feels like a guy who's trying to just figure it out. You're hoping that he would have finally reached the potential at some point now, right?
Yeah, but I mean, I think it does make sense because he wasn't producing. And ultimately, this team needs producers because you just with the way that some of the players have struggled coming out the gates, you just can't carry any dead water. So, and you got to give credit to guys like Alex Verdugo and Eli White, who we're going to talk about. These guys have really kind of sparked the bottom of that lineup, and that's when you typically start to get offense going, more consistent offense in the major leagues, when you can get that bottom half of the lineup going, and that's what these guys have done a really good job of.
Look, you speaking of Eli White, Rand, I think that initially he was a guy that you just throw in there to pinch run, and maybe sometimes a defensive replacement. He has been balling recently, right? 7 extra base hits, including 2 homers and 12 RBIs during an 8-game hitting streak that actually ended on Friday. He's holding down that spot for Ronald in right field. Obviously, when Ronald comes back, he's going to be the guy. But Caleb, do we have to try and find a spot to put Eli at somewhere?
I think, unfortunately for him, like when Ronnie comes back, that's that man's chair. Like, get out of his chair. You know?
Get out of his chair.
But at the same time, when you have a guy who, as you mentioned, is expected to just pinch hit, he is speedy. He is certainly a quick guy. When you're getting production out of him, and when you start looking into some of the nerdy stats, maybe he's not quite all-star level, but when you're getting consistent play out of anyone in the lineup, you're going to keep him in there as long as possible. I think the Braves are going to need to get creative, whether it's second base, whether it's shortstop, do something to get this guy. As long as he's hitting consistently, keep him in.
It'll be interesting.
Always helps to have a guy like Eli White just on your bench. You know, again, like you said, to run, do whatever. By the way, since in his last 9 games since April 23rd, leads Major League Baseball in extra base hits and is OPSing 1.1 during that time. So, guy has really done a lot with the opportunity that he's had here.
He's not from the state of Georgia, but he's from the general area of Braves country. He said he used to come down to games to be able to watch this Braves team play. So it's been very cool for him to be able to play for this team so far. Now, Meech, we're actually talking about consistency, right? Chris Sale, not been super consistent so far this year. He was the pinnacle consistency last year, but earlier this week, 7 innings of work, just allowing 2 runs, 10 strikeouts against the Rockies. My question, though, is do we give him credit for this? It is the Rockies. I feel like I could go out there and at least get a ground ball or 2, Caleb.
Yeah, I think it's hard to think that a guy who won a Cy Young award a year ago is just going to completely fall apart, but at the same time, expecting him to just match that consistency level that he had a year ago, also not something that you would expect. I think for him, it's pitching further into games. You saw that against the Rockies, where he finally is able to go 7. That's the longest that he's had this year. It's like 4 1/3 that he'd been going before that. So his thing is getting further into games and taking some relief off your relief pitchers. That's going to be the name of the game for him, and not worrying so much about I've got to be that Cy Young award winner once again. It would also look a lot not as bad, I would say, if you had Spencer Strider back in there consistently and Reynaldo Lopez. It's not as big of a story if those things are going on, but they're out, and so he gets highlighted even more.
The other thing with Strider, with Sale, is that the slider is still elite. It's getting as many whiffs as any other pitch in baseball, and so I feel like if that is still going for him, I think the command and some of the other pitches around it can come around.
You mentioned him hopefully going later in games. The bullpen has been a bit of a struggle at times so far this season. Caleb, I mean, how much of a concern should it be? Is this a spot there where coming into the season, people said we should make some moves and bring in some guys to relief? Hasn't happened. These guys aren't producing so far.
Yeah, I mentioned the scrap pile that the Braves were able to luckily go and get Alex Verdugo off of. Well, there's a different scrap pile, a much worse one, where the Braves have been getting their relief pitching to the point that you've had Jesse Chavez come through the organization a couple of different times. It didn't work out either time. They're trying to strike gold where they have in times past. I think the more concerning thing is what's going on with Raisel Iglesias, whether he can be consistent enough, because that's your guy, that's your closer, and so if you're not getting consistent outings from him, then it just it feels like it builds from there. But I will give Alex Anthopoulos his credit in the fact that whenever they've had issues in the bullpen, they're pulling the plug on these guys, and they're sending them out, and they're going to get somebody fresh, and I think they're going to have to continue doing that all the way up until the trade deadline.
Raisel Iglesias, 5 home runs allowed this year and 12 innings of work coming into Sunday. Last year, he was one of the better, quiet, great closers in all of the game. We knew it here, but around the major leagues, it wasn't as well known.
He's got to show up, too, because his bobblehead night's on Thursday, so you can't be pitching poorly when your bobblehead night's coming up.
I'm going to definitely go get one of those. Meanwhile, you mentioned AA. He's a guy that had some big moves over the course of his career as the GM of the Braves. Ian Anderson, Eddie Rosario, both back. Jesse Chavez was here for a little bit. He's gone. Are they trying to renew that 2021 magic, Joe?
I think that, I think that they're trying to catch lightning in a bottle with somebody, with one of these players. Now, whether it's actually a player that was on that 2021 roster, maybe not necessarily, but, if it is that player, like a Jesse Chavez, clearly that hasn't worked out. But I think that Alex Anthopoulos is willing to try pretty much anything at this point. And, why wouldn't you if you're him? I think that he is still confident that he can make key, especially bullpen additions to this team, but it's just not that time of year where you can actually go out and get those guys on the market. They're just not available now. So you're really kind of trying to be creative with the players you add on the roster.
Braves fans, calm down and just wait a second. AA has given you a lot of reasons to be happy and maybe sometimes some reasons to be upset, but the time is not now, as Joe said.
He did nail it with Verdugo, so it hasn't been all misses this year.
Look, you got to like what you see so far. All right, we got a lot more to talk about, so we're going to go to break. Coming up, we will get our first look at the Falcons draft picks on the field this week. We're getting you ready for rookie minicamp coming up after the commercial break.
The NFL has taken action, and I fully respect the punishment. We take full responsibility, my son and myself, and we will not be appealing the fine in any way. Going forward, I promise my son and I will work hard to demonstrate we are better than this. Again, I'm deeply sorry for our actions.
Well, it's a saga that is finally over. Falcons defensive coordinator Jeff Ulbrich very apologetic in the aftermath of the NFL's decision to fine the Falcons $250,000 and Ulbrich $100,000 after his son Jax helped prank call quarterback Shadur Sanders during the draft using the number he took from his father's iPad. Ulbrich, I'm sure, looking forward to focusing on ball this week as rookie minicamp gets going for the Falcons. 5 picks were on the defensive side of the ball. Joe and Caleb still with me. I asked them to try and come up with who they were really excited to see for a rookie minicamp this week. You guys were overachievers. You gave me a drafted player and an undrafted player. So we're going to start with Joe Patrick. Joe, you have a couple of guys. One of them, the undrafted player, has some Bay Area ties like myself. I'm very excited to hear your thoughts.
Yeah, he does. I'll start with Billy Bowman, though. He's the safety out of Oklahoma, although he's not going to play safety for the Falcons. He's drafted explicitly as a nickelback for this team, which is a very creative way for this team to find a nickelback. He has over 600 snaps in the slot in college, and so they think that he's going to be able to potentially come in and be a starter. And then Nick Nash here won the receiving triple crown in college football last year, the most receptions, reception yards, and touchdowns, and it's only his 3rd year as a receiver. He was a quarterback previous to this, so a really impressive prospect here. Actually kind of fascinating that he just falls out of the draft completely, considering he was a unanimous All-American.
Yeah, and he was in second place for the Blitnikoff. If it only wasn't for a guy named Travis Hunter, he might have won it. And I'll be honest, maybe he should have, right?
Yeah,
he won the Triple Crown. I feel like you should win the award, but whatever. It's not really up to me. Caleb, who are you excited to see this upcoming week?
I mean, I'm an NBA fan, so of course it's going to be Kobe.
Yes.
Kobe Bryant, a guy who took to social media to go, really? There was not 26 better corners than me. Someone who, I know the scouts didn't love the fact that he's got a small, wiry frame, but he is a hard hitter. 13 interceptions that he had in his career, and someone who really is kind of all over the place as a ball hawk, someone that certainly the Falcons could use opposite A.J. Terrell. It was really surprising, the fact that he did not get drafted, but I love the fact that the Falcons went after him. And then James Pierce Jr., a guy who you just wanted to see him rush the passer. This is the prototypical guy that the Falcons have been looking for. They went and got him, traded up back into the first round with the Rams to go get him. And I'm just so thankful to get to see that type of guy rush the passer and get after it, and it can't come soon enough.
Both those two guys play with their hair on fire, which is which this defense really needs.
Which you absolutely need. And of course, I think people are worried that the Falcons gave up too much to go get James Pierce Jr., so you hope that he's a player that can kind of contribute. All right, the rest of this block is going to kind of move around a whole lot. Dyson Daniels won the Most Improved Player of the award in the NBA. My question to you, Caleb, is the spirit of the award finally returned, or are we docking it considering that Dyson was, of course, a lottery pick?
No, I think the fact that when I saw Cade Cunningham was in this potential award, no, like they absolutely got it right with Dyson Daniels, someone who was in a much smaller role, was barely even playing in New Orleans, comes into Atlanta and really blossoms. You had the 200 plus steals that he had over the course of this season, only the 3rd player since the year 2000 to pull that off. He absolutely showed that he is someone who has improved his play, and also when we talk to him, like he's already looking to improve his play in the future by upping his free throw percentage and his shooting percentage. So it's all up from here.
And he just turned 22 like a couple of months ago. It's like insane. Crazy. All right. Meanwhile, in soccer, Miguel Almiron's goals snapped a franchise record scoreless streak at 363 minutes for Atlanta United. Their winning streak would continue though, as Nashville would score an equalizer in the second half. Joe, what should we take from this one? Should we be excited about the goal streak ending, or the fact that you still can't win a match?
Not really. I mean, are you excited by that goal?
I mean, it was cool to see.
Like I guess so. But I mean, still, this team is just not generating enough shots. Only 2 in this game against Nashville. They were outpossessed after this goal for 74 to 26% at home at Mercedes-Benz Stadium. That's unheard of. This team in their last 5 games only averaging 2.2 shots on target per game. You don't win soccer games that way.
They used to be a fortress, Mercedes-Benz Stadium. It's kind of not really that right now.
At least they scored.
Yeah, they did score, though. Fire that up. Before the break, though, we want to make sure we give a huge shout-out to United for hosting the 4th annual media match. On Friday, some of your favorite media folks stepped onto the pitch, including myself and Joe Patrick. It was a warm day from their practice facility. Joe in red for Team Connector. I was in blue for Team Resurgence, who came all the way back from a 4-1 second half deficit to force PKs. And in the end, the boys in blue got the job done. So let's take a second to break down some of the big plays. We're headed to the big board like we're inside the NBA. We're inside the Atlanta United media match on the big board here. Oh, you beat me to the board. Dang, I should have known better. I should have known better. We're going to start with Joe Patrick here. Joe, this is you. This is
the first footage I've seen of this game, and it is something. It is something.
So here's the deal. They kept showing different clips, but there's another man that was bald on the field, and they thought it was you. This one is you, and this is us.
Though, and my arms. What is happening? I thought I could be sneaky and just kind of lurk behind you there, Reggie.
You see the touch there? The touch, the setup, and you're putting guys on the break. I mean, I remember the funny thing is that last clip, though, I remember we were talking about it. You were like, hey, I've used all of my energy for this one play. It was warm outside.
Quick
and it
subs.
was,
you got in this type of environment, when you're out of shape like I am, you got to sub yourself in and out, real quick.
Caleb, what's your breakdown?
So thankful I didn't have to embarrass myself out here. I'm more than welcome to critique you guys. Like, this is some elite play out there.
Touch. Well, look, here's the deal. I'm getting the Hawks to get a media basketball game going.
We'll get a run going.
All right, look, I do want to make sure I kind of shout myself out just because it's me. But before, though, I do want to say this is my fault, right? I kind of passed the ball back. This is an ill-advised goal that I kind of gave up. But I did respond the correct way. We went to penalty kicks. I stepped up to the spot and knocked it through. Look at this. The celebrations were I was confused. I had a lot of stuff that I wanted to do. I just went... what do you want me to do, man? I just needed that goal because I was in a rough spot, but it puts us back in that. You see the pace too.
Beating our man Abe Gordon.
I was just about to say, poor Abe Gordon.
Yeah.
Caleb, what do you think?
I mean, this is some elite performance out of you. Like, that's I did not know you had it in you.
I like the celly.
Thank you.
Yeah. It's a little kind of like heroic, just like
even keeled.
I'm here.
Understated. I'm telling you, they were talking to me crazy as I went up to the spot, but I got the job done. Didn't win MVP this year. I wanted it last year. Didn't play well nearly enough to win it this year, but hey, we got the job done. All right. Thank you guys so much for coming on the show. Coming up, I catch up with first-round draft pick and Jefferson High School grad and former Bulldog Malachi Starks as he begins his journey to the NFL. Welcome back to Sports Extra. 13 Georgia Bulldogs heard their names called during the NFL draft, including Malachi Starks, number 27 overall by the Baltimore Ravens. I caught up with a Jefferson grad earlier this week. You might not remember me. You might not remember this, but I actually interviewed you the day that you signed on the dotted line to go play for the University of Georgia. Your hair's gotten longer. My hair's gotten shorter. It was in December of 2021. It's been a long journey since then. Have you had a moment to even sit and reflect on what this journey has been like?
Like, as soon as I got home, my phone broke. I figured people would think I already went Hollywood on them, even though that wasn't the case. So during that time where I didn't have my phone, I was at home with my parents and my fiance, and we were all just like kind of talking, and I finally got a second to just like kind of breathe and, take it all in. It's been a long process, but I'm really grateful.
Well, I'm glad that your phone was working when you actually got the call to join the Baltimore Ravens. And really, one of the first things they said is,
"You fit us."
Yes, sir.
They were fired up to draft you, Malachi.
And for somebody to single you out and say, hey, like, we believe in that guy, we want to take a shot on him, that means the world to me. Because, obviously they know, but they never know how much that phone call changed my life. Just the opportunities that I get to take advantage of and the people I get to learn from and the people I get to meet, that's going to open more doors for me and my family. It's a huge blessing.
Do you see any similarities between the University of Georgia, how they are as a program, to what that franchise is, the Ravens?
Yeah, it's tough, and you get what you earn, and they know how to win. I landed in the perfect spot. It literally couldn't be a more perfect fit coming from the University of Georgia. The discipline that it takes there and, how they run their program, I kind of see it in the same way with the Ravens. So I'm just excited to, take one transition from an elite program to another and just learn from the guys that were there as I did before the University of Georgia.
You actually got to keep the same number that you got to wear in college. Why was it important for you? Did you have to go and ask anybody for it? What was that process like?
My number it's for my cousin who passed away when I was little. He started playing football because of me, and then he switched to 24, and I switched out of it. He was 9, I was 7, and then he passed away at the age of 9 of a homicidal suicide. So I've been wearing 24 ever since for him, and it's so special to me. And I got to the facility, and I was like, hey, like, if somebody has it, I don't want to take it, because other people have meaningful numbers too. So like, I'm not trying to come in and take it, I'll wear whatever number. They said it was open and I could get it. So it's really a special moment for me, just because, you know, I kind of represent him. You know, as long as I do what I need to do, his name will never be forgotten. So just to kind of have that moment and, you know, take it with me from Little League all the way to the league has always been our dream. So it's just a full circle moment.
You really made an impact from like the very moment that you got on the field at the University of Georgia. Is there a play-in moment where you felt like this is my welcome to college football moment and I finally arrived?
There's two. So I think during camp, my freshman year, I was able to run around and fly around and make plays and have fun. And it felt like I belonged. Just going in the first game and then my first pick that I made, just kind of starting off my career like that and just showing, you know, who I am and what I can do. I think it helped me a lot. And I think it was kind of like, okay, I belong, let's go to work type deal.
All right, time for our final block. It's called Reggie's Agenda, and it's really more of a call to action for the city. The UFC is coming back to Atlanta for the first time since 2019 for a UFC fight night. We've got ourselves a banger in the main event as former champion Kamaru Usman will fight Joaquin Buckley, who I'll actually get a chance to talk to a little bit later this week. It's not a number card pay-per-view event, but it has enough juice that I hope to get people to pack that arena so a number card does come back. The city of Atlanta is the sports capital of the South. We get Super Bowls, national championships, the Super Bowl, the World Cup. The UFC should definitely be part of the rotation, and Saturday, June 14th at State Farm Arena is a chance to do just that. An incredible opportunity for the city. I know the city will show out. Do it for me. I'll see you guys there. And you also see me all week long. We've got plenty of stuff going on here in the city once again. We'll have you covered on 11 Alive all week. We'll see you tomorrow. Have a great weekend.